hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's telling me to come forward, come for me. See, I don't know why. Finally now I just spoke my mind. I know it's long since we spoke sometime, but this thing no play, I go change your mind. Just give me some time, really, please. Cause I don't have no time to waste. No more back and forth, just like Aaliyah. That's all I wanna do right now. Grab it up. So you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up on that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, when me gonna grab it up. So you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up on that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. But she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She telling me to come forward, come for me.
That's killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system. Move back left. You don't want to change from the 4-3.
Boom, boom, boom. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, people? We're back again to the J James Show. I'm back. I'm back from the holiday. I'm back. See, I mean, we're back. Roms is back.
JJ is glowing. JJ is glowing, bro. The tan is tanning, bro.
Bro, it was mad. I was only there for like 3 days.
Yeah. You wonder if you can catch the sun quick, innit?
Quick, bro, exactly, man, exactly. But I'm happy to be. I'm not gonna lie. It was depressing when I landed, bro. It was depressing. I came back, saw the rain. I was like, oh my days. But I'm happy. Like, today, I managed to bring the sun with me. Obviously, big up to everyone in the building. Make sure that obviously we're smashing a like upon entry. As always, we're getting that ticket to entry. We're subscribing because we're en route to 100 million subscribers, most subscribed channel in the world. But yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Obviously, before I get to the people in the comments, Roms, what are you telling you, man?
I'm good, bro. This shit just had an intense gym belly, bro. Need to get rid of my little belly now. But other than that, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Anything other than Liverpool, I'm good.
Rom, you'll talk about the belly, bro. Summer's always almost over. Pre-season's done, bro. Like, what are you saying? You're moving a bit unprepared, like LFC coming into the next season.
Bro. I've been moving mad, bro. The last month or two, I've just not been getting my fitness up, bro. But yeah, I woke up the other day. I'm just seeing hanging piece. I was like, no, I need to get this. I've never been used to this in my life, bro. I was like, I need to cut this out now. You know, I was looking like Robbo. You know, the first day of inside training. You know, you were so shocked at Hendo, like, Hendo, what you been doing? And Robert was there with his little belly. That's how I'm looking now, bro.
Oh my shit. Oh my days.
But no, other than that, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Yeah, man. We're good. Liverpool's not good though. I'm a keeper, but I'm in Portugal looking at Dams that playing balls over the top.
You know what? I didn't watch the full game in it because, bro, I was out for dinner, but I've watched the extended highlights and strap in, man. This season's looking long. Obviously, we're going to chop it up in depth, but this season looking long.
Yeah, man, we have to chop it up in depth, 100%, man. We're gonna get into. I'm just gonna get into some of the people in the building already. Big up to Mac LFC saying that this is long now, man. We got the Hendo Fab money in the bank. What bank we got it in, bro? Bank of mum and dad. Is it the bank of who's got the money? No one knows where it is, bro. No one knows. We got Pat Butcher in the building saying FSG out. United moving for Pavard. Now they got rid of that donkey Maguire. Liverpool still stuck with Gomez, Matip, Robbo's in decline. Trent can't defend. No right back to cover Trent. Clubs a mess. FSG. We got Captain Sal, LFC Aaron. We got Revenite as well. You got Yuvraj. We got to Yuvraj. Alexander they lost as well. We got Mr. Brooks in the building. We got Keep It Level. True Don. Also we got I Am Jono as well, and many more. So please make sure we're smashing the like, guys. Just bigger. Oh, and Anfield Road End, of course. How can I miss out Anfield Road End? But before we get into it, man, apologies obviously for my voice. Mad tired. I feel like I've caught illness or whatever in it. So it is what it is. But let me know what your thoughts on the game so far. I know you didn't watch it, but I kind of want to start with that game and I'll move on to what's been going on because a lot's transpired in the past week. On a kind of discussion basis, because obviously in terms of transfers, there's been no movement at all apart from, a couple bids here and there for Lavia. That's not really moved moved the needle much.
But cool. So from what I saw from the extended highlights against Darmstadt, it was kind of just the similar song of our pre-season. Going forward, JJ, I'm not worried in the slightest. But I think we're firing in all cylinders. We can interchange. I think any of the front three that start, obviously there's stronger front threes than others, but I think any of the front three that starts, I don't think we'll kick too much of a fuss because we're going to score a lot of goals. I think we'll actually be up there in the metrics with City and Arsenal when it comes to actually goals scored. But the other way, bro, that ball over the top, and let's be honest, they could have scored 2 or 3, but that Route 1 Sunday League hit the channels and just over the top. It's poor, bro. Like, I couldn't believe it. And if I look at Sunday now, because obviously that's when our first game of the season is, I'm looking at the Maduekes, the Mudriks, the Sterlings, whatnot, that can run in behind, that kind of have that burst of pace. And for me, I don't know about you, JJ, but it's not even just the right side now that's getting decimated. I think they're just going either flank now. For me, it's normally we'd say, oh yeah, it's mainly the right side that's getting decimated. We're getting penetrated on that side. For me, it's both sides now, and that's what's worrying. So again, from what I saw from the extended highlights, going forward, no problems at all. We're going to outscore teams, but it's the other way, man. And again, three of our centre-backs injury prone. No right back cover for Trent. I think we spoke about this weeks ago. I don't personally like Trent in that 6. Klopp persisted to play him there. Looks like he's going to go back to the right back. So now you're just confusing the guy. Like, am I going to start right back? Am I going to start in the 6? It's real all over the place. And like you said, in terms of the transfer window, we're just stagnant now. I'm hearing there's a rumoured 4th bid for Lavia, but you just don't know now. But this season, I just feel like we just need to strap in because it's got big up LFC Aaron. He's saying it's going to be 17-18 vibes where I think some games will win, but by a goal margin. It might be a 4-3 or a 5-4. Then there's just some games where us outscoring teams won't be enough. So against your other top 5s, we'll score a lot, but maybe it might be a 3-2 or a 4-3 to them, as opposed to when we beat the smaller teams 3-2 or 4-3. But I think we're going to concede a lot, man. It's worrying time.
Yeah, man. What are you saying, G, man? What are you saying? I'm back. We streamed the other day. First, before obviously we get into anything, where'd you get that hat from, bro? I like it.
Hey, my old private messaging and them thing there. My private messaging. I got a couple now. I bought like.
What you don't want LFC Aaron rocking the hat? No, you don't want Mark A rocking the hat.
Hey, big up my guys in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Big up all of you, but nah. Like, you guys have to find your own hats. You know what I'm saying? Because man, a pretty penny as well. Like, nah. I'm good though, man. How are you though, man? How's the holiday? How's the trip before we obviously dive into everything?
Good, man. It was tiring, it was long, but look, enjoyed the beach. Caught the tan, was here. Loved it. I love seawater and I love swimming, and that's I was swimming mad far out, coming back the way.
You saying you're swimming, yeah?
Yeah, man, I was swimming still. Michael Phelps and them thing there.
I was gonna say that. Jerry Phelps in the building.
Yeah, you know them ones. Yeah. But big up,
Hey,
big up.
we got Roms as well in the building. My guy, my G's. Hey, we're back in the building, man. We're back in the building.
Yeah, man.
Winding everyone up on Twitter, bro. You know how we do.
But cool, man. Before obviously move on, let's ask Roms the same question as well, because I want to kind of build on that basis. And I know you spoke about it in our stream, or your stream that I came onto the other day, in regards to obviously Liverpool, that long ball over the top, defensively still shambles. Roms obviously alluded to the fact that Liverpool going forward, he has no worries, but from a defensive aspect, we're looking poor. No right back, no left-sided centre back, no DM as of yet. Only 2 midfielders signed in a season that's supposed to be, the biggest transfer window of Klopp's tenure as any manager at any club. Chat to me what you're saying. Chat to me about that, man, and what you're saying in regards to that, because it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good, boy. I don't know, man. It's everything Ron was just saying. Like, I was listening a little bit before I jumped on, and it's just Liverpool. You know what I mean? Going into next season, I think we just got to, like, I'm not even too stressed about it, to be honest with you, because that are where my expectations are. Obviously, we'll dive into all of that deeper, but yeah, where my own expectations are of the team, where I think we are at, I'm not even too stressed. I think Rom just said, someone said it'll be like 17, 18. Yeah, I feel like it'll be like that. I think there's a lot of good teams out there. Defensively, obviously, we already know. I mean, when Van Dijk comes out and tells you, I mean, like, when someone points out the one thing that we all know is a problem in terms of, he knows that we're conceding a lot of goals and stuff, like defensively, we don't look too strong, etc., etc. When he comes out and says things like that, like, whether he's the captain or not, you just look at that and you're just like, if he knows, which he should know, but if he knows that that's a problem, that's got to be something that, the Klopp and the staff have got to be looking at, in terms of how they can fix that, to be honest with you. And I don't even think you can really solve it too much in the transfer market. I don't really feel like just going out to sign players is going to just help with that. I think that's just more tactical, setting up, etc., etc. But, going forward, yeah, we look good. We look good. I think we have one goal scorer in that attack, which is Salah. The rest are like, and Jota. The rest, I'm a bit like, they'll get you goals, but how many? I don't know. If you were to take like a Salah out, would that cause a problem? Probably so. If you took Jota out of the team, where did the goals come from? I know that's 2 players, so of course, if anybody took 2 players out of Man City, it would still cause some type of issue somewhere along the line. But ultimately, it might not be as rosy as we might think. But we'll dive into it, man.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to get into it. Yeah, so that's the first part I want to start with, man, and we might as well just go ahead and do it. No DM, man. No DM. 4 days, T-minus 4 days, innit? Till we face Chelsea at the Bridge. And I think the least any fan hoped for, the most optimistic fan, the least demanding fan would have hoped for, would have been obviously a DM, Lavia, Shuameni, whoever, Païna. It looks like Liverpool aren't getting a midfielder in. Klopp's spoken about the fact that, we've got 6 days, this is a couple of days ago now, to, come up with a formation for Chelsea. Because we haven't got a DM. Why? Question is, because I understand, we know it's a problem. I think that's easy to discuss. That's a mad issue. But why is the issue there, though? Why do we have that issue? Why is Klopp having to create formations 6 days out of a season when he's had the whole of pre-season to do so and has known what plays he's got at his disposal? Why has it taken, and this is for everyone in the chat as well, please let me know. Why has it taken, this long for us to put a 4th bid in for Lavia? And if we go and get Lavia, we're gonna end up spending the 50 million anyway. Why has it taken this long to even sign an Andre? But where's the Andre Runners gone? They just disappeared, bro.
For me, it's the failure to prepare, because I don't think the club and Klopp anticipated losing both Hendo and Fabinho. Yes, as fans, some wanted both out, some wanted either or out. But I don't think I think Klopp himself didn't expect to lose either of the two. But for me, the minute there's an inkling that you could, you have to act then. Now, I understand the low ball method, JD, because you obviously want to see how much you can get for a player instead of necessarily breaking the bank. But for me, where we've gone wrong is we've kept going for Lavia and not had a plan B. Cool, Andre's emerged in the last couple weeks. You've had Florentino Luis, but where we've messed up is we've shown Southampton that we're so desperate for this player, and we've not shown that we're in for other players, that they're just literally going to hold us to ransom. If they had seen we were proactive and we were like, you know what, cool, you don't want to sell him to us, we're going to go to another club and try and get their DM, they might be like, actually, whoa, we want some money for this. Like, maybe we'll accept a lower offer. But the fact we're making it known we only want your 6, who, let's be honest, I do rate him, but I always said I want someone with experience to come in alongside him. The fact that they know we only want their 6, they're taking the piss. They're literally holding us to ransom. And I think where it's gone wrong is we've basically not been proactive enough. Whether you think it's Klopp, whether you think it's FSG, whether you think it's Schmatker, I don't think this Schmatker guy is going to last long. Just the pressure of the fan base, people inside the club. Because let's be honest, he started off very well. I mean, Szoboszlai and McAllister in the first 2-3 weeks of the window. Even I had some of that Kool-Aid. I was thinking, you know what, we might be a bit more active this year. But it's not even just that we've not signed anyone. It's even the caliber's gone down. Them two were well sought after. Well, Szoboszlai more than McAllister. Now it's even the level of player has gone down. And for me, we spoke about this couple of weeks ago. Klopp was playing Trent in the 6, and we all heard his quotes the other day. Oh, Trent's probably going to go back to right back. Then for me, it's like, why are you then playing him in the 6? Because now, as he's come out and said in the last few days, now we have to find a solution. And the player that gets put there, it's going to be alien to them. They're not really going to know what to do. They've not been practicing in pre-season. Now, I can't lie, you two. I know we're probably going to do a preview or not. I'm shook of this Sunday. Whether people say, they've not got their targets over there, because they're in a similar boat to us. That's one thing I will say. It's not like they're the finished article, but I'm scared because I feel like they're more equipped and they've got players that have a bit more experience in them position. When I look at our team, Trent has somewhat experience, but it was the back end of last season when there was no pressure. You've got a McAllister that's going in there that looked decent yesterday, but you have to take the opposition level into account. Jones in the 6. I know I mentioned it in our group chats, JJ. Media mentioned it, but it was more tongue-in-cheek that he could do a job, but in a Premier League game at the Bridge, I don't trust him there. So I'm looking around, Bajcetic, he's not fully fit yet. Thiago in the 6, I'm seeing his training pictures today, God forbid. For me, we don't have a competent 6. So to answer your question, JJ, I just think it was ill planning from us. We just did not plan. And now it's that square pegs and round holes. Klopp has to find a solution for Sunday, but in my opinion, there's no solution. Like for me, it's hopium for Sunday. We just have to hope whoever's in that 6 does a job, and that is mad. That is mad. First day at the Bridge, hoping whoever gets fit in that position, you might as well just put McAllister, Trent, and Jones' name in a hat. Just shuffle it around, pick it out, and see which one you want to see that wants to play 6. But I'm shook for Sunday, man. But yeah, to answer your question, we just weren't proactive at all.
Yeah, man. Like, it's mad, but big up to Scraps for this one, because it's actually a mad. It's a schmad thing. This comment's a schmad thing. Saying that Schmacker doing a job meant to be a long-term project, but on a 3-month contract. What a mess. On top of that as well, yeah, I think you made a comment that I just want to clear it up. Julian Ward is the one who got McAllister over the line. They weren't Schmacker. Schmacker only got Szoboszlai, but bear in mind, it's not like you negotiated anything. We just paid a release clause.
Yeah.
So in actuality, he ain't done jack. At the moment, it just seems like Klopp gave his brethren, do you know what I mean? A job. Something difficult, I don't know. Maybe a divorce, maybe, do you know what I mean? money issues, out of a job for a while. Here you go, Schmack. Here you go. I got a job.
You had that veteran, that might been a bit idle. He left the job and you weren't really motivated to get another job. He's like, at my workplace, they're hiring, bro.
Yeah.
I'll put your name in.
Not one too cleaning and that you could run. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could just come in, do the thing.
Yeah, G, like I ain't got a job, but my boy's got a plumbing company still, and I can own a couple of jobs, get that cash in hand, like that. That's what it's seeming like. So it's mad. But no, I hear that, man. G.
Yeah, man. I think I'll be so real, brother. I don't even care. Like, as in, I keep saying it, bro. Do your thing. I mean, you're the manager. Your job's on the line. I mean, you get sacked tomorrow. Ain't nobody crying no tears on this side of the map. So do what you're doing, man. If you want to play such and such in the 6 because you think that might help, then cool. I mean, you've mentioned it, and we keep going on about like FSG and money and stuff like that. And I'm always sitting there thinking, I hear it, but then at the same time, I'm like, I don't really know, man, because he might not be looking at it like that. We know Klopp. He likes solutions within the club. He feels that he can get these solutions within the football club. So if he feels he can do that, is he necessarily going to be that? I'm not saying he doesn't want any players. Of course he does. Like, I don't think he's that naive. But at the same time, the players that might be offered to him, he might be looking at it and just thinking, I mean, they might not be the ones, I mean, to get us over the line, man. Rom said it there. Throw anybody in the hat, get the 6. We're good to go. But I don't think it changes. If you sign like I don't want Liverpool fans to start thinking, even though I think he's a dope player, I don't want them to start thinking, you know what, sign Lavia, Liverpool are going to just, boom, just all bro. Like, it won't make a difference if Lavia's doing the same thing as Curtis Jones in the 6. What difference would that make? Like it does that help us moving forward? He might be better at it. He might be better at what Klopp wants Jones to do in a 6, or Trent or McAllister or whoever. But does that help us though? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, does that help us moving forward? I don't know about all of that, man. I think we'll still be a meaty team in that kind of sense. So it just comes down to tactically, man. That's where in my opinion, that's where most of the problem will always lie, is until he fixes up tactically. You know what I mean? Like, having a defensive midfielder, an adequate one, that's not going to stop the goals that we're conceding, in my opinion. I think the goals that we're conceding, ball over the top and all of that, like, I think you added me in that comment on Twitter about if a defensive mid was to come in, is he going to stop them? But I'm like, maybe. I mean, like, you know what? Maybe he'll be able to run forward, stop that, get back into his position just in time, be quicker than the football, and then we stop. It's just not going to happen like that, people. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think we keep looking at this defensive midfield. We need a defensive midfielder. I'm not saying we don't, but we do need to start realizing that tactically, the way Liverpool set up isn't good enough on defensive transitions. It doesn't seem like he's found a way to kind of nullify all of the attacks that we're just conceding. It seems like we're very gung-ho at the moment. So, and when that fixes up, I promise you, I don't even think it will even really matter too much about the defensive midfielder. I think you could probably play anybody there and it should just kind of work, because these players are not shit. Man can't sit here and say McAllister's shit, Jones is shit, Trent is shit. These men are ballers. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm not even going to sit here and try and cap it like, oh yeah, he's dead. They're good players. So why is it we're looking so vulnerable defensively? Van Dijk, 2 seasons ago, man, were telling me he's the best player, best defender we've ever seen in the Premier League. Putting him up with Rio, Terry, Vidic, Sol Campbell, Tony Adams. He looks like he's just any run-of-the-mill defender now. You know what I'm saying? So it clearly, there's obviously something wrong in essence in the way that we set up. So when that fixes up, Liverpool will be better. Until then, I don't care who we sign, man. Just sign someone.
Can I quickly chime in there? I touched on it with Jared at the start of the stream, yeah. You see how the transition, we just look vulnerable. But you see that in recent years, it's predominantly been on the right, because obviously Trent being there, obviously he's advanced, and normally we have space in behind and whatnot. Is it just me, or this pre-season? You could even say the back end of last season, it's even more worrying, because for me, it's not just the right now. Like, teams are hitting us either flank, through the middle, left, right. Like, do you agree with that as well?
100%, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said, bro. It's got nothing to do with the players. Like, it's clearly the way that we've set up is so like mad that we've put ourselves in a position whereby it doesn't matter. You decided to sign Szoboszlai and McAllister at this moment in time, yeah, both Liverpool and the board. So we signed these 2 players. Yeah, that has not done anything for us defensively. Fair enough. Maybe if you do sign that defensive player, maybe we will look different potentially. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, until that player comes in, we'll have to see. I just don't see that though. I don't see how that changes. I don't see why it would change. Players are going to do the same jobs that he's asking them to do, and that job isn't good in the defensive transition. That's all it is. Once he changes that, I promise you, you will notice a massive difference in Liverpool in the way that they play and in the way that we are conceding chances. By the way, people, I'm not saying Liverpool cannot concede chances, by the way, because I've seen Man City concede enough chances in games before. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, if we get this. No, it doesn't work like that. That's why you have a goalkeeper. That's why you have a defense. What I am saying is that we can minimize the amount of chances that we are at least conceding, and we can stop with the easy chances that we're giving away, because Premier League football, yo, that will kill us, man. That will kill us. It's all good playing Firth and Darmstadt and all them, man. Like, you know what I mean? They're calm. They might not be able to hit us like that, but we saw what happened with a Bayern. Fuck it. You know what? Forget even a Bayern. We'll see what will happen with a Brentford, with a Bournemouth, with a Forest. You know what I mean? Them kind of teams where Brighton, who play better football than us, once they start popping it about, it's going to get real sticky next season, in my opinion. But
cool, yeah. So let's just dive in. Like, I think that's an interesting point. Yeah, you're saying that it's the tactics, it's the system, more than obviously the individual players. Saying that if Klopp makes a change, then we'll see different results, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're not in his mind, but why is he not making the changes then? Why is he not making the changes? That's the discussion to be had, because every other content creator, every other channel is talking about he's not making changes, he's not making changes, he's not doing this. We all know what we're talking. We all know who's talking like that. Do you know what I mean? Making it the same stuff, running the mill stuff all the time, but at the same time, it's like, cool. Why is he not making the changes though? Let's have that conversation, because that's what I'm struggling to understand. That you're seeing the results, you're seeing. Oh, you know what? That ball over the top's happened 3 or 4 times now. But in-game, we're not making adjustments. And then on the training field, we're not making the adjustments. The players not making any adjustments. And it's like we're just running. We're just doing the same run-of-the-mill stuff. So,
for me,
like, what's going on there?
For me, JJ, I just think it's naivety. I think even though he's seeing these things, he probably still wants to. We know he's quite a stubborn guy. Even though he's seeing these things, I still think.
I
still feel he wants to stick to his principles, because he has this idea that we'll get it right. Cool. Maybe we're gonna have to go 1 step back to go 2 steps forward, but we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and eventually we're gonna get it right. When evidently we're not. But for me, the only thing it can be, because you're asking this question, and as you asked the question, I was kind of getting a headache, because the only answer for me is naivety, because he's seeing what's going wrong. Yeah, that G said, I actually agree. I think it's a more systematic thing. It's not necessarily a thing with personnel, because that G said we do have borders. It's not that we have dead players, because we don't. But it has to be naivety, because he's seeing this is going wrong. He knows it's going wrong, and he's not doing much about it. He must still believe in his method that it's eventually going to work. But the problem with that is, if he keeps believing it and it becomes our detriment and it's not working, we might find ourselves in a 7th, 8th position by the middle of the league, where there's no real way to rectify it. So he needs to be careful. He needs to be very careful.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Big up to Don for this one, man. Big up Don. Sunday, unprepared. Big up, shout out Don.
Real talk. That's what I was busting up.
Don, I need to shout you, because we actually need to do a preview. I want to get you on for the preview, man. So big up, shout out to Don as well. And make sure we're heading over to all the content that he's dropping on the Football Terrace and other places as well. So shout out to Don, man. I appreciate the super chat as well. Much appreciated. G, is that the only reason why then? Are we trying to say the reason why Klopp's not making the changes is because he's stubborn, essentially? Is there no nuance? Is there nothing more? Can no one someone in the chat, drop me a conspiracy theory as to why he's not making these changes? That's something. It's mad. It's mad to me.
You could say it could also be because of personnel, in terms of the type of personnel that he has got available to him at the moment. That's what I say. It's not just a Klopp thing. It's not just really an FSG thing. I think it's both sides. But I think so one side, yes, I can say, yeah, you know what, it might be a personnel thing, in terms of maybe he doesn't have the type of defensive midfielder that he particularly wants. But then and then on the flip side, should I say, that's when I then look at him and I'm like, all right, that's cool. You know what? You haven't got what you want. You haven't had what you wanted clearly for the whole of last season, plus whatever we're looking like for this season. Okay. So what are you doing to combat that in terms of on the actual pitch? Because as we've all stated it here, and I'm sure everyone in the chat will probably say the same thing. We know these guys are not dead ballers. So why is it you can't seem to find a way to be able to, you've seemingly found a way, which I don't even think he's even found a way. I actually just think they're just that good. But he's found a way where these attackers have looked quite effective, so to speak, in terms of they're getting goals. But I mean, you can kind of see then again, they're not dead attackers, so they were always going to, come up trumps in some way, shape, or form, especially when you've got Salah on the team as well, who can facilitate most of what's going on. In the midfield area, again, you've still got good players in there. Why not set up in a way that doesn't allow you to be so open in a game? But, and I think someone mentioned it, I can't find the comment, but someone mentioned it before, it's not only just the midfield though, because the attack are not doing what the attack needs to do. Hence the reason why I keep saying, why not just change it then? If the attack can't do what you want them to do, which is press from the front, try and win the ball back and do. You know what? I'm not saying you don't have to press, my bro. I'm just saying maybe you set up a little bit differently, because all you're doing now is exposing Nunes' weakness, Gakpo's weakness, Diaz's weakness. Like, you're just exposing it.
Where I slightly disagree with that, I think it depends what front three, and you two probably love this. When it's Jota, Gakpo, and Salah, we're more cohesive. The pressing is smarter. We actually stop a lot of attacks when it's them three, particularly them three. The minute you add a Diaz and a Nunes into the fold, we spoke about this weeks ago, they're a bit dumb with the way they press. Because Gakpo and the Jota and the Salah, they might be slower in which they press, but they're more intelligent. They know when to press, and they do it together. They do it in sync. The amount of times I've seen Nunes and a Diaz, I think because they've got blessed with that pace, the amount of times we've seen them run and then it's got put behind them and the team's in. So I agree with you in that regard. I think it depends what forward line, because I think when we have Jota, Gakpo, and you two know I've got a lot of love for Nunes, but when Nunes or a Diaz is in, and we all know we've kicked ball, if one gets the press wrong, it's like a domino effect. The rest of the team get the press wrong. But I realized when Nunes or Diaz go into that fold, they're very gung-ho with the press. They don't really think about how they're pressing. But when it's a Gakpo, Jota, and Salah, I've seen us be successful higher up the field. I've seen us stop a lot of them attacks higher up the field. And another question I'm going to give to you two, right? It can't happen now because he's fell off and his lateral movement isn't the best, but Fabinho's wasn't the best. And I just think he's a bit too old now. But I was thinking recently, a younger Matip, let's say in the situation we're in now, and FSG aren't really backing Klopp and we're not getting that much signings in. If Matip was a 26, 27, much younger than he is, would you not hear him in the 6? Right? If we were in the situation we were in, would you not hear a Matip in the 6? Because I've been thinking recently, if he was younger and we were in the situation we're in now, I think he would actually do wrong. He's got that profile. He's quite tall. He's very combative. But the only thing is his lateral's not the best. But then Fabinho's wasn't. And let's be honest, he was one of the top DMs for about 2.5, 3 years. So I've been thinking of it recently. It's unfortunate that he's fell off and he doesn't really have the legs and he's picking up more injuries, because I think Matip in the 6, a more youthful Matip in the 6 would have been a wicked DM.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he played, didn't it, for Schalke?
Yes, he did.
That's why he played. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised about that. G, any other theories?
Yeah, well, in regards to what Ron said about the Matip in the 6, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it would just depend, man. I think it would just. I know we did it at Schalke, but yeah, that football is different to the football that this guy's asking these men to play.
It's slower as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit tricky, but there was actually a point I was going to make. Crypto Nation mentioned about Liverpool need to keep the ball more. Brother, we keep the ball bare. Like, our possession stats are super high in games.
Yeah.
And we don't even it's possession for possession's sake at points. And again, this is what I'm saying. It looks good on the stats. The numbers they must look at the numbers in training every day and think, we're doing all right, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why everyone's complaining. when you're watching these games, boy, it looks very scary. You know what I mean? And this is where the eye test comes into it, because the possession that we're having is in stupid areas. Oh, sorry, not stupid areas. It's in no man's land. It's just like, oh, okay, well, you know, you're at the back there. Van Dijk knocks it around. Allison, they knock it around for a little bit. Kanate, if he doesn't fall over, he might knock it to the right back. Like, it's just one of those kind of things. Like, it's not really possession where it's penetrating the opposition, so to speak. When we get into those attacking positions, that's when it becomes quite fast. That's when it becomes quite, you know, just quick movement really from the players kind of thing in terms of running forward. And then obviously someone potentially will find a pass, but it's usually a long ball over the top as well. Listen, it's just tactically for me. Like, that's where I'll look more. Yes, you can get the personnel. So there are players that I think you could sign, and if you use them properly, then I think we'd be a little bit better. But if you don't use them properly, bro, have Matip and Van Dijk in DM. How about that? And you're still not going to make much of a difference, really, with the team because of how we kind of set up. And it's just going to be like that for time, man. I just don't see how it changes, you know, with Liverpool next season at the moment with what we've got.
So, what you saying then? How we sign a midfielder and a defender and we're calm?
I wouldn't say calm, but I feel like it helped. It doesn't take us to the next level. I've actually seen a lot of fans saying, "Yeah, we're DMing it and send it back away from challenging again." I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do think it does plug some holes. It does plug some holes, and I think we would concede slightly. Obviously it depends on who we sign, but yeah, in terms of taking us to that next level, no. But I think we'll be more rest assured that, okay, we've actually addressed the issues. And yeah, big up Marquette, not even just a top 4 race. I think we go from challenging to top 4 to kind of being assured of top 4. That's the way I'll stop it. I don't think we'll go.
So are we saying then that this is where I've got the issue then, myself personally, because on one hand we're saying that it's a system issue, but then we're saying if we sign the players, that the players are going to make all the difference. So the question is, if we were to sign the players, is it the investment side of it, or is it the fact that the manager is not doing the right tactics? And if we had the players, we still wouldn't play that football. So if you were to swap out Kanate for Pavard, or Robbo for Pavard, or Robbo for Colwill, or Jones for Lavia in the 6, does that make a difference?
Cool. Let me just chuck 2 signs at you that you're just saying that we were never going to get, but we were linked with. Let's say you swap a Robbo for a Colwill in the system we play, and then a Caicedo on our 6. Yeah, for me, as much as we've alluded earlier that it could be a system issue as well, it is. I think it's 50-50, half system and half personnel, because let's say you put in like you said, a Pavard and a Lavia, that for me, that doesn't make us that much better. It's not that it takes us to the next level, but I feel like we do strengthen slightly. But if you put in a Colwill and a Caicedo now we're talking, because not only they can cater to the system, but their ability is much higher. So for me, it's a bit of both. It is now a bit. I know earlier I said it was predominantly system, but when you break it down like that, it is a bit of both. It's personnel as well.
What are you saying, G?
Yeah, I wouldn't say 50-50. Like, because I still feel it won't make that much of a difference. We've just seen Liverpool sign Szoboszlai and McAllister, and Szoboszlai right now, I don't even know what position man's playing right now. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what he's actually. If you looked at him right now off the games that he's played in pre-season, which is the only measure that we've got of the guy, I'll be like, we signed this guy, right? He don't look any different to like Conor Gallagher and them, man. Like, maybe a bit more quality in his set pieces. Fair enough, I'll give him that. But we know he's got that in his locker. Like, I think it is both. Of course, it would be, because the two go hand in hand. But I still put it down to it's going to be more so on the tactical side of things, purely because we've changed tactics. He's put obviously these players that we've got at the moment in these roles. No problem. Got no beef with that whatsoever. But then we've seen the deficiency, obviously, of some of these players. But then the problem is that you've seen the deficiency within some of these players. So if you've seen the deficiency, why are you still getting them to do the same thing? Like, that's the bit that I find the most confusing, is that you're still kind of getting them to do the same thing, but it can't really work. It works for some players. So Trent, when he was doing the inverted thing, he was getting into the game a lot more. We've seen McAllister in that sixth position. When he picks up the ball, he's able to kind of affect play quite well, get the ball into the front players really, really well. Salah is Salah, Gakpo is Gakpo, and Jota is Jota. Like, their men just do what they do kind of thing all the time. But the other positions, like the Konates and stuff like that, you're still, because of the role that you're asking Trent to do, you're then asking Konate to do another role. Can he do that role? No, he can't really do that role that well. No problem, no beef whatsoever, but then change it up a little bit then. Problem is, you've changed the tactic and the style for this one guy. So if you change up what Konate's got to do, you domino effect, you then got to change what Trent's got to do. So I'm just sitting there thinking, bro, like, we changed this whole thing, yeah, for Trent to get on the ball more, to end up signing players who want to get on the ball more. But then we're not even doing that to the best of our ability. So then I'm just like, it's all wishy-washy, man. I just think tactically there is a better way that you can set up with the players that we've got. And I just think that once he does that, I think the team will just look inevitably better. Then you can add your Havard or Tyler Adams, Fofanas, and all these Chouamani's and stuff like that. You can add all these guys, because they'll then come into a system that is blatantly working. Like, and I know we keep comparing, but bro, like, man cannot lie. No one in this chat was telling me, yo, Nathan Ake is a solid sign. Nobody said that. Like, nobody. I didn't hear one individual.
Man were grilling it, if anything. Man were grilling that sign.
Grilling it to the point they were like, City got fleeced. What was it, like 50 mil or something? From like Bournemouth.
From relegated Bournemouth.
Yeah, he was literally knocking about there. Then man signed a Kanji.
Just
a Kanji for chicken
that
chain.
was the main one. That for me, I heard more heat on a Kanji more than Ake, to be fair.
And man were looking at,
yeah.
No, like man were looking at a Kanji and was like, not to say he's dead. Like, by the way, I don't think anyone was saying that these men are dead. It was just they were like, oh, right, City got these guys. I don't know about that. I'm trying to say, I don't know if these guys are going to be solid, especially when you've had Laporte and Diaz, Stones, and all these kind of guys in your team. You're like, what? You've gone from there to a Kanji and fucking Ake. Yeah, you might on some joking. But I've seen these guys come in and just bang, straight off the rip. There wasn't even none of this, yeah, let's bed them in like Klopp, take 6 months, and then he'll, like, some players do that in well, it's mostly the attackers in City's team, in the way that he wants the attack to actually play. But when it comes to the defenders, that man just slotted in just like this. Like, and why? Because he had a system that worked to their best abilities, but then also can help the team out. And I just think there is a way to play with this team, man. But until he does it, man, we're just going to be sitting here all the time, just having this conversation where Rom said it before. Yeah, we'll win a game 4-3. Heck, we might even beat Chelsea on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We may actually beat them. People are then going to turn around and say, who we need signing. Then we're going to lose to bloody Brentford, and everyone's going to be like, oh, why didn't we sign a DM? And you're just going to be like, well, where do you go from here? It's going to be one of them kind of seasons, I think, anyway.
I hear you, man. So on that note, yeah, because I want to go through something. I saw a tweet. I tagged G in the tweet, and I want to go through the thread. The question I've got now, yeah, is, and I want people to think about it as I'm reading it through, and obviously we're going to chop it up on here. So I need all the questions about it. Is this an FSG problem then, or a Klopp problem? Because we've got two sides of the penny now. We've got Romza saying it's 50-50. They're saying it's partly FSG and not signing players. And essentially then you've got the other half, that is obviously G, which is siding on more, saying, nah, it's Klopp in the system. And I know a lot of you guys are split down the middle as well in the chat. I'm going to share this, yeah. Hold on. My voice sounds mad. I don't even know why, you know. It's crazy. Cool. Can you guys see this? Yeah. So this is from someone on Twitter. Now, shout out to this person for obviously sharing his views. I'm not getting onto him. I just want to discuss this because I find it quite interesting. It's a thread, so I'm just going to obviously read through it as quick as possible. We are so much more invested in a club that goes far beyond who the owners are, who we are linked to, and who we buy or don't buy. The match-going regulars only went after Hicks and Gillette, not because of how they ran the team or who they did or didn't buy. It was how they were running the club. Hicks and Gillette weren't a million miles from sending the club out of business. This is far more of a concern to regulars and locals. Having a club to support and that club being ran sensibly is far more important than the latest flash in the pan £100 million player. This is absolutely not to say that FSG are perfect and haven't made mistakes. This is not to say that FSG couldn't do more. I would like them to be a little less risk averse. I would like them now and again to say, you know what, F it, buy him and play the price. But the reasons when all of you FSG outers say, I don't understand why the locals and regulars aren't protesting is because the way FSG run the club sustainably, sensibly, without masses of debt that can soon become unsustainable after 2 poor seasons means the club has longevity. And it will be around and not be in danger after a couple of poor seasons by the way it's run. Also, the makeup of the regulars / locals are left-leaning socialists who believe in justice and equality. If you FSG outers get your way, the only viable ownership model is to get what you want. Is a sports washing entity, and I believe 100% unequivocally, and I will tell you now, not one single local or regular to Anfield will ever protest in favour of that kind of ownership. So I say that to say this, yeah? Is that maybe where the issue is then? There's a massive divide between fans that don't necessarily want to see investment into the club because of how the club's run. And is there, playing devil's advocate, is that not more of an importance for a Liverpool? The club being ran sustainably, not, being in masses of debt, being around, do you know what I mean? And not vanishing into thin air or getting relegated as Leeds did back in the day, as Nottingham Forest did back in the day, and not wanting to go down the so-called easy route by some of, Chelsea, City, Newcastle as of late, where you get investment from places that some people would find a bit, questionable.
What that is for me, because the thing with that Fred, right, he does make some good points. I'm not going to just go on that, top red, this, that, and other. You don't know what you speak about. He makes very good points because obviously when Hicks and Gillette left, I was only about 9 or 10. So I've had to research as I've grown up. I didn't understand the severity of the situation at the time. But I think the problem we have is even before Hicks and Gillette, we were borderline a 3rd to 5th place team. Never really cool. We won the Champions League, which you could say is an anomaly. That was just, you could say, a miracle. But we were never challenging for the upper echelon in that Champions League consistently, finals, semi-finals, and challenging for the Prem. I think the problem you have now is we've had a taste of success under this model and ownership. Cool. We all know it's not sustainable, especially without how everyone around us is spending. But the only thing I disagree with that, Fred, is where we've become the best team in the world. Because I do believe 18-19, even though we didn't win the league, that's the best Liverpool team I've seen in my lifetime, regardless of not winning the league. Winning that Champions League and missing out by a point, I couldn't believe what I was seeing that season. But where we've had that success, getting to back-to-back Champions League finals, I think it was three in about 4 years, challenging for the Prem, you now want more of it. And that understanding how our model doesn't allow us to be sustainable in that aspect, that's why a lot of us now want that because you know what? I don't even necessarily want a big Qatari owner to come in. Just as long as we maybe have a share where they just pump money in the club purely for transfers. It doesn't necessarily have to be a wholesale ownership change. Even if, let's say, FSG keep, 60% of the club and give 40% to another shareholder that invests into the club. But I think where we've tasted that success now, as a football fan, at the end of the day, you want to see your team win. We want to continue seeing that. And under this ownership, it's not, we're seeing it now. It is not sustainable. Yes, Klopp hasn't done himself any favors as well, sometimes being a bit stubborn, being a enabler, not necessarily calling them out. But one thing I will say this summer, he's trying to do it in an amicable way. We need a centre back. We need plays. Where last summer for me he wasn't. He was literally just up there. That's my personal opinion. But I just feel the only reason why I disagree with that, Fred, is because we've tasted that success now. We want more of it, and we're not going to get it under FSG. Yes, because we need to be honest that off the field, the new stand, the expansion of, I don't think the new one's ready, but the expansion of the main stand, the new Kirkby Centre, they have done good things. We're not going to act like they've just been rubbish for us. I mean, under their ownership, we've brought back our first title in 30 years, but it's not sustainable. That's why I have to disagree with a lot of what he said with that, Fred. But he does make good points that they have ran it in a sustainable way, but that's only really off the field. It's not on the field. At the end of the day, football's about winning, and we want to see the accolades. So that's why I disagree with it.
It's tricky though. Like, I'll be real, it's tricky because technically on the field we have been successful, and off the field we've been successful. At the end of the day, we won everything. Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, I don't think without the type of investment which FSG don't have, and there's only like a top, I don't know, 1% of clubs who can even invest, like City, PSGs, the Real Madrids and stuff like that, Chelsea. They're like the only real clubs out there who can spend money like that. So it's like, I get where people got, like, I don't want to get too into it anyway, because I actually don't care about FSG and Klopp, like that whole conversation. But I get why people would be the outers. But then I also, what that Fred was saying there, like reading it, I was like, things I hear it. Do you know what I'm trying to, like, you couldn't not hear it. At the end of the day, ultimately, under this ownership, Klopp has done what he's done. Could he have done more? Possibly. But I'm not gonna sit here and have this conversation with people and be like, the reason why we missed out by 1 point is because we didn't buy Jude Bellingham and Tchouameni that summer. Oh shit! Like, come on! Like, we've got to be smarter than that. Like, that can't be the basis of our argument. If we're saying, if we had spent this amount, we would have had this X, Y, Z. That it don't work like that. It doesn't. It literally does not work like that. Like, it never ever has. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, realize all the guys who have the money, they've got top managers. When Chelsea were doing their thing, they had one of the, if not at the time, alongside Sir Alex Ferguson, the best manager in the world. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, Man City have got the best manager in the world. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, hence why we're not seeing PSG go out there and just literally dominate the UCL year after year after year. They've got Messi, Mbappe, Neymar. They've had Cavani, Ibrahimovic. Like, they've had ballers. They've literally had ballers, and which we're sitting there saying, why they're not winning? You know what I mean? Because they've got all this money. Why are they not winning it all the time? It doesn't work like that. Chelsea, even now, looking like they're not really too great at this current moment in time. Manchester United have spent billions since Sir Alex Ferguson has left, and they have won fuck all. So, like, the money thing for me, that's why I'm like on both sides. I'm just like, I hear it. I fully get it. It would be nice if they would. Yes, I want Bellingham. Heck, I want Pedri, Musiala. I want all them, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, I want to at least be in a conversation for these kind of players. But then you can't then turn around and say, but the reason why we didn't win a league is by that 1 point on the last day of the season is because we didn't sign Jude Bellingham. That's a dumb conversation. Like, I'm not even trying to hear that, because there were games in there. So you need to tell me that if we had signed all of these players, like in prior to missing out on the league, we beat Spurs or Leicester, or come on, man, like, we had the players to beat these teams, clearly shown by the fact that we missed out by 1 point. So this argument of saying that it translates that if FSG spend more money, then it will, if they dip their hands into their pocket, we'll just automatically go out there and blah, blah, blah. When you've still got Manchester City who are doing it, you've still got Arsenal who are now trying to do it, you've now got Chelsea do it. Like, it just doesn't work like that, in my opinion. And again, that's why I always go back to the manager, and I will always stick with the manager. I don't know financials. I'm not a financer. Like, I don't know business like that. It's the manager. I know football. I know when it comes to tactics and whatever. So when we're looking at the game in itself, for me, that's where I'm looking mostly, to be honest with you. FSG play a part, 100%. But I'm sorry, but there's no way in hell no one can ever spin to me, yeah, you know what? Yeah, Liverpool in that game that we lost to Nottingham Forest last season. Yeah, you know what? Maybe if we had, come on, man. You need to tell me what the man on the pitch couldn't win the game. What tactically we could win that game, losing to Leeds 2-1 at home. Come on, man. Like, that's a non-starter for me. I'm not even trying to hear that. I'm not even trying to hear that. So that's why it's tricky. So that's what I see both sides. I fully hear the outers and the inners. Me, I don't even care. Like, I don't care. If they leave tomorrow, I don't care. If they stay tomorrow, I don't care. Like, I'm just worried about what's Klopp doing on the pitch, because he's won all of this with the owners. We were literally applauding these owners. Well, not everyone, let me not say that. Some people were applauding these owners beforehand. Oh, Liverpool got a sick business model. Their teams want to try and copy us. Boom, 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 boom. Like, I'm seeing now other teams are trying to like take certain things that we're doing, that like in terms of the data analysis driven and stuff like, oh, everyone was copying Liverpool. Now all of a sudden, now we're getting to a point where the bigger financial teams are flexing their muscles, which they should be doing because they are bigger financial teams than us, and that is how their model kind of runs. Now everyone's kind of moaning about it, and I'm like, but I don't expect to spend more than most of these teams, if not kind of all the top ones. I don't expect to spend more than Manchester United. I don't expect to spend more than Chelsea. I don't expect to spend more than City. Heck, I don't even expect to spend more than what's their name, Arsenal, because of the owner that they have and the situation that they were kind of in. He just knew, and let me just throw as much money. The guy's rich, he can do that. I'm not saying that these guys ain't, but he's stupid rich. He could do that. So I'm just like, what does everybody want, man? I honestly don't really know. Like, cool, sign all these players. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Let's see if we sign a DM left centre back. If Liverpool do not win the league next season, I'm coming for every single person who told me that Liverpool are going to win the league. And I want you to explain to me why we didn't win the Premier League.
That's why I say though, when it comes to like spending money, like, I agree with you. Like, we can't spend as much money as the Chelseas, the Arsenals, the Uniteds, the Cities, but at least try and spend a bit less so the gap isn't that big. And that's why I say not necessarily FSG out, but I don't know, another shareholder that can invest, where, because with FSG we can't even compete or compare to our rivals that are spending, but the way in which football's going, we have to, bro. This isn't sustainable. We can't keep spending how we are and expect to win Prem and Championships. That's why I agree with you. Klopp's done a wonderful job under the constraints of this ownership. He's actually done a wonderful job, and we will be the first to say that. But this is where I think we need some sort of investment, because at the end of the day, we're gonna have to.
Okay, cool, Roms. Okay, cool. So, but are we not getting investment though? Are you not spending 65 million on Nunes? Are you not going out to sign Gakpo? Like, what did you want? Like, did you want us to sign? Like, we signed Gakpo, you signed Nunes, you signed Szoboszlai, you signed McAllister. Obviously, that was chicken change. Don't know who else we've signed in the lot. Diaz in the last 18 months. We've been signing players though. What
for me
more do you want us to do? Or is it a type of players?
I wouldn't say type of players, because other than Thiago, we don't go for that caliber. Like, probably before Thiago might have been
so are we not shopping in the market
I'm more saying the sum and the amount we spend on a consistent basis. Because one sum, cool. Let me give you an example. Yeah, after 18-19, after we won the Champions League, it was Harvey Elliott, Sepp van der Berg, and Adrian, I believe. Cool. We win the league. We then win the league. And I believe in that summer 2020 during COVID, it was then Thiago and Jota. And even, you know what, I was actually all right with them two signs, because it's the first world-class player I've seen in my lifetime us sign. But again, only signed him because it was at a decent price. And Jota was coming from Wolves. I don't think anyone expected him to do this well, but he did more than I thought he would do. And I thought, you know what? Cool. We've actually showed a bit of intent. But I don't want one summer us to spend 70 million, then the next for it to be 140, then the next to kind of drop back to 70. I'd rather us spend a consistent amount per summer that will put us in better stead, if that makes sense. It's not so much the player type of play we get, it's I want a certain amount per summer, not for it to kind of fluctuate and go up and down. That's the standpoint I'm coming from.
Yeah,
but
big up.
No, go on, G. I'll go after you.
No, I was just literally gonna say, and big up Ashley Broomfield. Go back to the Chelsea, to these managers, the Chelseas and Manchester City. What managers have they got? As I just mentioned about Chelsea, during Chelsea's probably most successful period. Big up for the comment. Big up. They had Jose Mourinho, as I mentioned, probably, like I said, alongside Sir Alex Ferguson at that time as being probably the best manager, in world football. the amounts that they were spending, that obviously there was no FFP, I believe, at them time, so they could just spend whatever, and the type of players that they were signing. We're not even signing, like, we never, Rom's just said it, we don't sign those kind of players anyway. Like, we don't actually even sign those kind of guys. So do I even see that changing? No, Klopp doesn't realistically want to work with those, not because he doesn't want to work with those players. He would love to work with Bellingham, Tchouaméni, but the price you're going to have to spend to get a Bellingham or a Tchouaméni, Klopp's not really about that in himself. He never has been. He never would be like that. He likes to prefer to work with a certain type of individual. Not saying that he wouldn't like these kind of players if you could afford them. But again, look at the clubs who are affording these players. We're talking about Real Madrid, Manchester City. Like, you're talking about people who can spend more money than we can spend. We're not losing out battles to fucking like West Ham and that. Then I would be like, all right, fair enough. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I get it. Yeah, I'm trying to say, if man's losing out battles to West Ham for a player, yo, there's some. Then I can probably understand. We're losing out to Real Madrid. I expect it. I expect any footballer to choose Real Madrid over Liverpool. You'd be dumb not to. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you'd actually be dumb not to do that. So when we're losing out to these kind of guys for those type of players, Barella, if we was, let's say we were potentially interested in someone like him, why would he leave? Where would he go? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, what would he do? So yeah, like, for me, I think it is just one of those, like I said, I see both sides. Like, again, I'm not in or out. I don't care. Like, yeah, I mean, like, stay or go, it's not really affecting me. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, for me, I'm always going to look at Klopp. Tactically, you can set up better. Once he sets up better, everyone's going to then be like, oh, Klopp's an amazing manager. He does this, he does that. So are we being disingenuous to Jurgen Klopp? Are we saying that, because he was able to sign Van Dijk for 75 mil, Alisson for 60s, Fabinho for 50s, Keita for 50s, are we now saying that he needs money? Because if that's what we're saying, is he a checkbook manager then? Is that where we're going with? Because that was our successful period when he was able to spend that kind of money. So without it, how good is he really? You know what I'm saying? Like, again, another conversation for another day.
What's going to be so interesting for me, the day Klopp leaves us and joins, because again, I don't want to speak for you two, but I don't think we're saying this guy's a bad manager, because after Liverpool, he will get a big job. Whether it's the German national job, Real Madrid's been touting with him, Bayern he will get another big job. Like, we're not silly. But I'm going to be so interested to see if he actually spends how our fans think he would spend here if we had more investment. Imagine if he goes to another team and he's doing the same stuff. A lot of people have to eat their words. A lot of people have to eat their words. That's why I'm very interested when he joins another big club to see how he operates and to see how much he basically flexes his muscles, because he will go to a club. Then again, I wouldn't say Bayern as such, but if he goes to like a Real Madrid, or I don't even want to say Barca, but they're in the shits right now. You know what I mean? If he goes to a club,
club who has money,
I'm going to be very interested to see what he's really on and how much he does flex his muscles still. Because if he goes there and doesn't buy these type of players, it's like, so you are moaning at us for no reason. That's the way I would see it. But
yeah. Marque, big up yourself. It's true. He doesn't really go, like, I can't see him even at those kind of big clubs. Not because he's not a good manager.
That is a shout.
Not because I don't think Klopp is a very, very good manager in his own right. What he has achieved, 100%, no one is saying otherwise. But you're right. Mainz, Dortmund, Liverpool, these are small-minded clubs. Do you get what I'm trying to say, in terms of if you compare them to other clubs even in their own leagues? When you compare, Liverpool are not even the biggest, like the best team in this league. Dortmund are not the best team in that league. Mainz were nobodies. Like, he's not managing, like, he's not gone from Real to Bayern to, he ain't done the Pep Guardiola route where you're like, brother, I need you to win today. Like, today. If you don't win today, it's a problem.
That's why it'll be very interesting, because, like you just alluded to, Mainz, Dortmund, Liverpool, 3 clubs that don't spend like that, right? And don't really have the biggest transfer keys. But if he goes to a lot of this problem is a lot of the European leagues, they don't really have as much money. We know how much money our league brings in, but let's say in an ideal world, Juve have a big budget. We know Real Madrid have big budgets and that. I think maybe now, evidence suggests he doesn't go to them teams with win now expectations, but I think he even wants to prove to himself after he leaves us that he can go and do that he can then go and work with these players. Because I do think his next job, I think the German national team will be, because he spoke about wanting to manage them. I think that'll be further down the line. But in terms of his next big one, I want it to be a European giant that he can spend pretty much what he wants, because I just want to see what he's really on once he goes to them clubs.
Cool. Speaking on these managers, yeah, and obviously we're speaking hypotheticals, yeah. Something that's not hypothetical is the fact that Stefan Bajcetic and Thiago have returned to training. Knowing how Liverpool move, and they're not going to look at it and be like, last season we had Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, always injured. We've replaced them with 2 new players to come in that play every single game that are better than the likes of, or on paper anyway, the club would view it, they're better than the likes of, Milner and Henderson that we've got in there. We've got Thiago that can play at the base. We've also got Bajcetic, Curtis Jones, who emerged towards the back end of last season. And Elliott now, he's had 1.5, but 2 seasons now where he's been part of the first team and he started both of those seasons. Are the club not looking at it and saying, look, in terms of options, we've got players. We got our players back, and Thiago and Bajcetic are like new signings. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Bajcetic gets more minutes than he did last season. Thiago is Thiago. Jones gets more minutes than he did last season. We've now got McAllister and Szoboszlai. Morton's still available. Or Clarkson, sorry.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, if this is what we're turning to, you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit mad. But again, you know what I mean? Like, Thiago's a good player. Like, I like Thiago, but he's just not reliable. That's his problem. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of pans out. But Bajcetic, yeah, he's not really ready for this kind of level of football. I know we got big hopes for him, and he does look like a promising player. And maybe he might shock us this season as well, in terms of how he fits in. I really would like to see how these players fit into a successful team, so to speak. A team that's already, quite well. Like, for example, I look at someone like Rico Lewis, seamlessly slotted into Manchester City team. This is a City team that were going for a title. Remember, this weren't like, City are distant. No, they were going for the title. They were behind Arsenal at that point. Slotted in absolutely perfectly. So that, I look at those hence why we don't see necessarily players like Cole Palmer. I think my car from last big on Albert. Nah, but like, you see Cole Palmer, he's one, he might develop, like, he might somehow take up that slot. But I look at him and think to myself, I don't know if I see you really making City's team like that. Like, I don't know if Pep favors you like that or he trusts you that much. But again, that could change. I'm not saying he's a dead player. That could potentially change. He came on in the Community Shield, scored that banger, blah, blah, blah. Maybe some players are leaving. This might be his season. But from everything I've noticed so far, I saw how he trusted Rico Lewis. Arm around the shoulder, talking about him, putting him in the midst of a title challenge, like trusted him that much and said, De Bruyne, bench. Whoever else, bench. I'm good with Rico Lewis being in the team because he's able to come in. Does Bajcetic have that same kind of aura? I don't think so. I think he still needs to be developed a little bit more, but I don't even think that's even really down to him. I just genuinely believe that's just because of the way that Klopp's kind of used him was really for the energy. I don't even think we've even seen the full repertoire of what Bajcetic can even do. Do you get what I'm saying? So, I like him though. I do think it'll be interesting to see where they fit when they come back. If this means that they Ross Barkley to Luton, fucking up. If you see next season, that's a mad move. I didn't even know that. If you see next season, he can really prove to me, I think then you've got a player on your hands. At the moment, I'm still looking at Bajcetic and saying, don't know, man. I feel like you've got the promise. Just can you fulfill that here? That's all I'm hoping for. That is all I'm hoping for. If you can do it, boom, no problem whatsoever. So yeah.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I'm gonna get into some of these comments, man, because the comments are flying in. Apologies if I don't manage to read out your comments, because there is amazing. We've had over 220 people in the chat, like, consistently. So it's been crazy. And guys, make sure we're smashing the like. I'm going to get into some of the chats. Can't go through all of them. There's a massive question that you want us to ask. Please, at the end of the video, when the stream is done, list them down in the comments. And then in the next stream, myself and Jin, whoever that comes on, will run through them at the beginning of the show. Yeah, shout out to Jermaine, man. Shout out to Jermaine saying, shout out Jerry. I DM'd him because I rate his content differently. One worry I have is we ain't even in conversations with a centre-back, let alone do we have a 6, laughing my arse off. Yeah, very, very true, man. Very.
Yeah, but I think after Lavia, it generally stops there. I think Lavia's our next and only incoming, and that's mad to me. But yeah.
Yeah. We got Corvo, Newcastle United Football Club, saying going to Stamford Bridge without a DM, that lad Jackson will have a field day. I know G's repping Chelsea today with his Chelsea top.
Come on. I'm saying 15 on the back. What do you mean? Like?
Jackson looks good. But like I said, big up Don, what he said earlier. This is kind of the battle of unprepared because they're looking like Andre Santos and Enzo as a double pivot, and that doesn't scream danger to me necessarily. So it'll be very interesting on Sunday.
It will be, man. It will be. Boom Boom 43 saying waited for all the top players to be bought by other clubs. Did that quick enough. We got Anfield Road End saying City won a treble, ripped midfield up and rebuilt it before we have jokes in.
It's John in here. Big up John Paqueta, yeah. But your guy, in the space of you wanting him to come us, has gone to West Ham and potentially go in City. What are you doing, John, bro? You're supposed to be our Leon guy, bro. What's going on?
Yeah. What's scary about this midfield moving as well is I'm worried. You know that Ward-Prowse has left Southampton and he's going to
West Ham.
West Ham. Southampton now have funds where they can still buy a midfielder, but they're not under pressure to sell a Lavia. They could actually just up the price now and say we actually want 60 now. Because he's our only.
But Jerry, they were never under, like Southampton are not Leicester, you know. They didn't have like that like the money from winning the Premier League, then going Champions League. Wages went stupidly high. Didn't have bag of man on mat. Bro, this is Southampton, you know. They're good. They didn't even need to sell Lavia or James Ward-Prowse. They could have been calm with both of them and just moved on. You know what I mean? So I think, boy, if Liverpool don't want to pay up, it's gonna look embarrassing. Like this will genuinely be embarrassing.
But it would be scary if Southampton put the price up now because they can do. Like imagine I had 2 phones, right, and I'm selling them for £500 each, yeah, and then one of the phones go. But this the other phone I've got is in demand. I can put the price up to anything now because if Chelsea, they could say to Chelsea now, look, if you want him, 7 EMs, cheaper than Caicedo. More expensive than whatever we want to play. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting.
You know why you're spotting as well? What we're forgetting is City get 10% of this. So they're thinking, rah, the more we get from you, like, the more we can keep us, and we still have to share it with another club. So,
yeah. Exactly,
yeah, man.
It's peak. We got City Road, saying, I'm sorry, Anfield Road End saying City won a treble. Oh, yeah, I did. Jesus, man. Yeah. Boom Boom saying, imagine if we can't get Lavia, the next option will start from scratch again with a series of joke bids dragging on for ages. We've got Trudon saying, FSG telling us no more signings, no signings. FSG telling us no signings. I want to cry right now. John voice. Big up. We've got Albert saying, Ish, no one is talking to you, taking you to ransom. Southampton were rougher with us when we wanted VVD. You know how dealing with Southampton or knew how dealing with Southampton was. Facts, we dealt with them before we've taken their players. I don't know why this deal was taking so long, man. We know saying reality is that Klopp might have just one major style at Liverpool, which is built around intensity. Maybe so, maybe so. We've got LFC Aaron saying Trent needs to become a full-time midfielder now. Enough of his hybrid crap. We've got Irie saying, get Trent in right mid and sign a decent left back that can defend. We need a right back then, not a left back. If anything, we need a right back. If we get a left back, Konate at right back, am I looking for that? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he's ignoring.
Bro, as in Konate even at right centre back is looking kind of techie. So putting out a right back, boy, I don't even know about all of that. I don't even know, boy. Can't even front.
We got Donovan Davidson saying it's still really frustrating that a team who finished in the place we did have only brought in 2 replacements so far. This club is not serious about wanting to challenge for big trophies. We've got Angel Nat 68 saying the goals we've conceded are down to advancing both fullbacks. The tactics are poor positional awareness. A DM won't solve that. Yeah, it goes with what you were saying, Roms, in regards to, you know, the right hand side of our defense was being targeted a lot. Now it seems like the left as well, because Robbo's so high. You've got Trent sometimes in midfield. It is looking all over the place, man. We've got Romulus saying we always played risky football. Our press at the top made the ball over the top difficult, and that efficient and functional midfield squeezed teams like an anaconda. Yeah, then I guess it's systematic then as well, because it means that we're not pressing as well as we did. So it just goes to G's point. We have Romulus saying Jones, Mac, and Trent cannot play in the 6. At our best, we had Fab in the 6, and Hendo could fill in. Even in spells, Genie did the job there. Right now, we have nothing. Yeah. Honesty saying, according to Ben Jacobs, we have made a 4th and improved bid for Lavia that I'm aware that has actually been rejected by Southampton as well. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see where that develops.
You can't make 4 bids and have them all rejected. That's like asking for the girl's number in the club like 3 times, thinking each time I give her a drink, she's going to potentially change her mind. Maybe if I even spin it, maybe if I even chat to her a little bit more and be like, listen, look, babes, well, you know what? I don't even need your number. How about you just give me a social media? That's like, what, bro? If she said no, then the answer is no, bro. Like, just let it go.
Now you're saying, where do you work? I'll send you like an email or something, and send me
bro, what's your email? Like, where are we going to? Like, where are we actually going to? That's mad. If it's been rejected.
4 bids. 4.
That's it.
That's crazy.
Bear in mind, this is for a championship team, you know.
It's for a championship player. How about that? It's for a championship player, bro. That's so dead.
At this point, it's like you're just gonna have to take the embarrassment, because it's like, cool. The principle is it will be embarrassing because we've been chasing. It's like a De Jong situation with United last summer, chasing him with the whole window and not getting him. But now it's just a pride thing. Like, cool, just take the L. It's like one of your boys cussing you after something embarrassing. In the end, he's just going to end up shutting up. You just have to say, you know what? We have to take the L now, because now it's a pride thing. You've been rejected 4 times. Like, just walk away now, bro. Yeah. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Where's all the man them telling him, yo, man, leave it? Like, clearly, no one's telling the man them at the top yet. Like, yo, you man, just chill now. Like, it's becoming borderline stalkerish.
Like, bro, there's plenty more fish in the sea. Like,
bro, you know.
The one over there. She actually liked me.
Sander Berger liked us, and he's looked like he's gone Burnley for 12 M's. That's hurting you a lot, man. I thought Sander Berger.
You wanted it,
hey, yeah. Fuck that, you man. How about that? I don't even
no. How about that? You guys at 6'6". I mean, we'll thump you up, G. You know, we can pick you up like this. You know?
Bro, I don't care. I don't even care. Let him do what he's doing, man. I don't even care, bro. I don't even want Sander Berger. But it's a joke though that he's where did he go again?
Burnley.
Watch
him be a bad boy as well under company. Play good football.
Okay, cool. Okay, you know what? If he's a bad boy next season, I will publicly apologize and say, you know what, Jerry, 100%. I do not see that happen. Like, I don't even see a future where this guy bags it in any way, shape, or form.
I think he's their starting DM, and I think they stay in the Championship, the Premier League. Sorry. So that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Blockman saying, to be fair, Trent Alexander-Arnold has
Blockman. That's a joke about that.
And he was in Thiago's way last season, and now it seems he's a roadblock for McAllister and Dom as well. Do you agree at that point? That Trent getting on the ball negates what Szoboszlai and McAllister can do?
Maybe so.
I can hear it because all three of them, in a sense, are forward thinking. They all have that kind of eye of the needle passing. It's like, raw. It's like, no, I want to do it. No, but I want to do it. No, but I want to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and they're all in a similar position. It's not like one's at a left back and the other one might be right wing, where they're complete other ends of the spectrum. They're all in the same sort of position. So that's actually a good shout, Block, man.
Yeah. We've got Boom Boom 43 saying Arsenal just paid 40 mil for a backup keeper. Paul can't even fill essential positions like DM, let alone splash the cash on squad players.
Can I ask you a question? Just on that point, yeah. Do you think, looking at how Klopp likes to do business and the type of players he likes to have around. Do you think he would, if he had the money anyway, both of you, this is for both of you, would he want to go out there and sign, let's say our backup goalkeeper right now is Kelleher. David Raya is obviously way better than Kelleher. Do you think he would go out there and sign a David Raya as an example? Let's just say that was just available for us to get. We had the money, blah, blah, blah. Do you think he would go out there and sign someone like that to not challenge, because he's obviously Alisson's better than him, but be an adequate enough backup where Alisson's definitely on his toes, like where he's like, ooh, too many mistakes in too many games, I might be dropped. Do you think he would do something like that?
I don't think he would. And to be fair, right, I wouldn't want him to, because that's a whole other situation. But what Arsenal are doing, cool, 2 keepers that for me are the same level, but they're only doing that because Ramsdale has them lapse in concentration. Most big clubs have a clear 1 and a clear 2, and you've seen it. Even that Ryan Ramsdale situation, that will only last for a year. Then one of them will be like, I'm better than this. I'm not a number 2, because we've seen in recent history, United with Romero and De Gea, Chelsea with Courtois and Czech that one season, even Real Madrid with Courtois and Navas. One of them says, nah, man, I'm not a number 2, because if you feel you're on a similar level, you're going to want to cut out. But as for Arsenal fans, if this is the one season they win the league with 2 keepers on the same level, even if it does only last a year, they won't care. But Klopp doing that, I can't see him doing that. And I kind of get it.
Maybe not keeper then. Maybe that's because he's so sick. You know what I mean? Another position, yeah.
No.
So anywhere, literally anywhere. So Trent's position or the striker position, like just anywhere. Like it doesn't have to be goalkeeper. Like, do you think he would want to get someone like that who's like basically the same level, if not better, than that potential person that's in that position now?
Do you know it? I don't think you'd do that because the hugs just become fake then, innit?
JJ,
you're just hugging too many men.
Imagine this is how I see it, especially because being a keeper, there's only like 1 keeper in it. There's like 1 position.
Yeah. That's what I said. Right? Yeah, change position. Yeah.
Cool. So focus on the keeper. It's like a thing, coming to you and saying, yeah, you're my number 1, but just to keep you on your toes, we're not official. Like, let's say we're not official yet, but just to keep you on your toes, I'm gonna have another man there that you're better than. But if you slack up, you're getting dumped for this next brother called Anton. You ain't gonna want to try to hear that, and I feel like
burn all the Antons out there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, man. Guys, I've got some breaking news.
JJ, is that Photoshopped?
I got some breaking news. Lavia's arrived at AXA.
Is it real, yeah?
I don't know if this is a joke or not. With this AI stuff, you never know what
Let me go on Twitter. Someone in the comments, let me know.
The fact that Rob's there, this is a fucking joke, man. Excuse my language. The fact that Rob's actually gone to it, you see how desperate we are? That looks flipping fake.
Nah, if that's not real, yo, you see this fan base, man. I'm not even on it.
It's not even just that, bro. This AI, I can't lie. I'll tell you that off stream, but I got sucked into something the other day, bro. This AI stuff, and they're making it look, bro. I genuinely believe he was there, bro.
The thing is, look, bro, you know what's so mad about it? They've even got the shadow in the background, like so. So I'm just sitting there thinking, right, okay, you know what?
Man pulled up, dead. Think about it, bruv. I can tell it's fake, bruv. He looks like he's like LA or like Marbella or something.
Very true.
It's hilarious, though. It's hilarious, man. Oh shit. Let me get into the comments. Let me finish up. Shout out to everyone. Make sure we're smashing a like, people. We got Erhan Aksu saying, just drop the high line and play with a 10 instead of a 6. G's been saying that for years now, man. Angel Knight 68 saying, JJ, we've lost once in 14 games and Klopp's win percentage is high. The tactics have took us to 2 to 3 Champions League finals. Is Klopp justified continuing playing the same way, unbeaten in 10 Premier League games?
By that logic, slightly, then FSG would have to stay.
Facts. If we use that type of logic.
If we use that logic, then FSG would technically have to stay because what they've done has taken us to this thing. So I don't disagree with what Angel's saying though. I mean, you're right. I mean, you won one out of the three, Premier Leagues, one out of the 3 Champions Leagues. So, is it a winning one? I don't know about that. Is it one that will get you doing stuff? Maybe so.
Yeah. We got Demo saying by Chetic is fit. We cooking. Yeah, I don't know what we're cooking. Must be some frozen paella from Lidl and that. But yeah, man.
Cooking rice, bro. Just plain old rice.
Albert saying, does that stupid prick know the history of Standard Chartered and the role they played in apartheid? Does that stupid prick know where the fuel in his car came from? That's in regards to the tweet that we showed. Self-explanatory. Tron saying, LOL, terrible conclusion to this argument. Nobody is arguing for Arab owners. The club isn't going to be running to the ground by spending more. I agree with that. I think that's facts. We've got promo saying Roms looks like Ryan Babel slightly.
Big up promo.
Ryan Babel?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I don't know.
That's man are saying I look like Ox. So here, I'm a promo. I think it was promo was calling me Ox last season. So it is what it is, bro.
I mean, maybe if you get freckles, maybe then I could potentially.
You two might laugh.
That's like me saying you look like Biggie Smalls if you gain 200 pounds, bro. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, do you know what one killed me? Yeah, one of my boys put in my group chat the other day. I was dead. You know William Borges, the City young G that's gone Ajax.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah.
He was like that. You don't think he looks like Frozone from The Incredibles?
He does, yeah, from The Incredibles, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see it.
You can see it. The eyes are big, like they're at you and that. Yeah,
where
that
is my super suit? Oh yeah, that one, man. K-Max saying, if I really want to be real, I want a manager who doesn't waste all our money on players we don't actually need. That really isn't an FSG problem. Nunes money should have bought a midfielder. And moving from that, we got Jermaine saying, my issue is clubs that are smaller than us are actually spending more. And for a club of this size, we should be spending up there with City and United, considering our league position. Not considering last season, no. Not considering last season. We've got James MK saying, FSG made record profits of 600M plus. You're either FSG or FSG in or FSG out. Setting the line straight. We've got Ashley Broomfield saying FSG have to sell. The club are less attractive because of this policy. Something is wrong with this club. How can FSG continue? We've got Wiener saying his best bet, and this is Klopp's best bet, is the German national team, where his hugs will be appreciated. We've got James MK saying 8 out, 2 in, and we are rebuilding. Liverpool are sell to buy under FSG.
Are we even selling to buy them? Like, is that even selling to buy? Like, what are we even doing?
Are Liverpool a big club or not? I agree. We've got Ashley Broomfield saying, I think we need a technical manager with technical players. This heavy metal football just kills players after a while. Do you guys agree? Go to GTV. We spoke about it so many times. I think that's a simple yes. I think the running does kill you. It's not sustainable for FSG do. Klopp likes being the underdog. That's from Kingsman. ACDC saying 4 years without a midfield signing. Now we are short of a DM and defense. You can't win with Gomez and Matip. Red Scout TV saying Brighton and Villa, these teams are spending more than us. It's a joke. Uncle Albert saying you can win Champions League and buy Sepp Vandenberg, who has never played for us, or Man City played for us. Man City win the Champions League and buy Gvardiol. Enough said. We've got Honesty saying, I know this is their model, but sometimes you have to change your model, otherwise you will get left behind. Look at their clubs. They own their model. Works for a couple of years and it's done. That's true. We've got promo saying, congrats on the move to Besiktas. What did I say? There we go, man. We've got Angel 968 saying, who is this guy? Why do these fans think they speak for the majority of Liverpool fans? We've got Tron saying, we're just asking FSG to do the bare minimum. Sustainably ran football clubs are not the norm. Most businesses, including football clubs, utilize debt and loans for investment. That's very, very true, man. That's very, very, very true. Last one here from Zia Eddin, and we'll kind of end it on this one. Appreciate it, Zia, saying, Guys, do we care about Lavia anymore? I've lost interest. More excited if FSG make the signing and the player could be a nobody. What are you saying?
For me personally, it's a player I've been following from City's youth team, innit? So, and I've watched him live. I know they'll say the levels are different, but I'm not going to switch up now just because the deal's taking longer than expected. But I rate him. I rate him. Would he come in and hit the ground running? That's yet to be seen. Liverpool, different pressure. That 6 role is, some people will even say he's not a 6. That 6 role comes with a lot of pressure in itself. You're essentially protecting the back four and whatnot, but I rate him high. I still want him personally.
I don't really care if you sign Lavia or not, man. Just sign whoever it is you want to sign, and let's see how that works. He's not my pick, though. I mean, I want someone else, but if you sign him, let's see how it works, man. He's a good player. He's a good player. Good player.
Cool, man. Yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in, man. That's obviously the last cut of the day. We're moving for an hour and 30 minutes. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in. We've had over 200 people in the stream consistently, which is obviously crazy. En route to 100 million subscribers. So, you know, that's what we're doing. Before we head out, obviously, thank you to Ian Roms, obviously, to come around as always. So obviously, let the people know what's popping up, what's happening on GTV, and then
big up, Zion. Tomorrow, people tune in. Hopefully, these 2 young chaps will be joining me tomorrow. We'll be doing the Premier League predictions, so we'll do that sometime in the evening. We'll see where we think everyone will finish. Not just Liverpool, but you know, we'll have a little look. You guys in the comments, would love for you guys to obviously join in. Let us know as well. It's already up there, scheduled for tomorrow at some point. So obviously, head over there, smash a like. Let us know in the comment section, but also let us know in the live chat as well what you guys think, where we're going to finish next season, and then we can obviously move from there. Will Liverpool get top 4, top 5? And also, can someone let me know, or Jerry or Ron, is it top 5 gets UCL next year, or is it top 4?
What it is, the top 6, any of the top 6, the traditional, so Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, United, get 5th. Because we've all been in Europe, it doesn't. Some people think it's just Champions League. If you've got enough coefficient points, so like if a Brighton or Newcastle finish 5th, depending on how Newcastle do this year, but if they also finish 5th, they won't get it. All of the 6 that have been consistently in Europe should have enough coefficient points to qualify. So it's not anyone who gets 5th gets Champions League. It's basically the traditional top 6 that get Champions League.
So if like a team like Newcastle were to get 5th as an example, they wouldn't get Champions League.
Unless they get to the semi-finals of Champions League this year or win the Europa. As long as they build up their points, I even think that wouldn't be enough. I don't think even that would be. Obviously, if they win Champions League, you automatically go back in, but I don't think they can. I think it's literally the traditional top 6. Because some people bantered saying, wait, Arsenal ain't been in the Champions League, but where they've gone far in Europa League and whatnot, they'll have enough points to finish top 5.
Guys, stay tuned as well, because this week obviously we'll be dropping the first preview of the Premier League season, man. So we're obviously going to be doing that. I'm going to obviously try to get the main man Don as well in as a rival. We're going to try to do that for every single one. And I told people already, man, we get to 2K subscribers, watch alongs, bro. Me and G, that's what we pledged, man. We told you guys to watch along. So if we get to that 2K subscribers, you might get a watch along for that game as well. But look, until then, look, it's gonna have to be the previews and the game match reactions. Obviously, thank you for everyone for tuning in. Until next time, man. Let's hope Liverpool can just sort themselves out in one way or another. I don't even know what that means nowadays, but it is what it is, man. It's the J James Show, and we're out, people. Have a good evening.